Hello, 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 everybody. You know what time it is. It is time for another Wednesday Wisdom Nugget. This segment is pretty much, it hits home for me. I was pretty much sitting down and I was really just like, God, okay, what could I talk about? I was like, I've talked about a lot of things. What could I really talk about for this segment? And he came in my heart and he told me to talk about this. And I thought to myself, no, I'm not ready. I don't want to talk about this. But it's a part of the healing process. And I'm going to talk about it. So let me get into the verse. The verse that I have today is from Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And it is from the King James Version. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. My topic is a season of trials and tribulations, and it is basically correlating with the book of Job. If you are a believer like me, you know about Job. Job was an upright, righteous man. He believed in God. He worshiped God in spirit and truth. He did everything right. He did everything well. He did everything good. But one day he woke up. He lost his oxen. He lost his livestock. He lost everything. He lost his homes. His children died. And then right after that, he still was just praising God, thanking God, and saying, you know what? God, you're still worthy. You're still holy. And right at the point where he just was content, he still said it's okay, is when he began to become plagued in his body. He began to have an agonizing sickness, and he had sores on his body. He was bedridden. And that is the time where he got really kind of, in my opinion, he got sad. And those were also the times where the people that were supposed to be there for him, they turned their back on him. His 3 friends were there. They taunted him. They mocked him. They did not support him. They did not provide encouragement. And this man was almost at the point of death. His wife told him to curse God and die. Like thinking, you still believe in God after all of these things happen and you're worshiping him every day and all of these bad things keep happening to you and you still want to believe in God? Are you dumb? He still believed in God. He still believed in God. He still kept praying. He still kept going. And through all of those things, everyone leaving him, him being by himself, him losing everything, him going through grief, him going through a deep depression, he still kept the faith and he still kept hope alive. And guess what? He was given a double portion for hanging in there. And this may be emotional for me because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm in this season. I am in this season. And he got back double portion for everything that he had been dealing with because he kept his faith and his hope. Sometimes all you have is faith and hope. Sometimes all you have is you and God. You've lost everything. You've had so many losses. You've had so many trials and tribulations. And you sit back and you're like, you know what? I don't understand. I don't understand, God. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Once I started becoming consistent with this Wednesday Wisdom Nugget is when the attacks started coming. And that is what's funny. Let me take you back to January of this year. Well, even before that, 2023 was one of the most difficult, challenging years of my life. I got let go from my job. And that was the job that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to just ride this out. And then I was let go. And I can't speak on that too much, but yes, I was let go of that job. And then I had unemployment for a little bit. And I was just trying to figure it out from day to day, like how to make ends meet. So I went through a very bad financial time of instability. And I was getting unemployment, but unemployment runs out. And I talked about in my previous video about working for Delta Airlines and becoming a flight attendant, and then that didn't work out. And then my rent went up, so I had issues with that. And then I had to transition and move back in with family. And yes, it was just a year of lots of swift transitions, lots of ups and downs and things happening. And also in the midst of last year, I kept displaying signs mentally that were a little weird or a little off. And I kept having these staring spells. Like people would talk to me and I would be staring in outer space and staring. And they were like, hello. It was almost like I was losing consciousness. And basically, I didn't know why or anything. But basically, January of 2024 of this year, I was going to go get my hair done. So I drove it first and I drove my car. And then as I drove my car, I believe I had a flat tire. So I was like, oh, I really want to get my hair done. And girls, we don't play about our hair. I'm like, I'm about to turn around. I don't care. I'm about to go get my hair done. I was just angry because like it was in a season where it was like if one more thing happens and that was that one more thing and I just lost it. I was like, oh. So I came back. My dad was telling me to come back home. I came back home and yeah, my tire was flat. So even at that moment now, in my mind, something said, just cancel the appointment, reschedule. But something deep inside was like, I guess it was me. I was like, you know what? No, I still want to get my hair done. I don't care. So my dad, he was talking about fixing it. He was like, it's okay, yada, yada, yada. So my mom is like, okay, you can use my car. It's okay. So I go and use my mother's car. I go to my hairdresser and she does my hair. She fixes it or whatnot. And, I'm happy again. But then I start thinking about just my tire being flat on my car. And then I start thinking about a number of other things, like the back-to-back things that were happening in 2023 that transitioned into 2024. So I'm driving back home and I just start thinking to myself about all the bad things that keep happening, like over and over. And I'm just mad, like all these emotions start rising. And to make matters worse, I'm listening on the radio is Mary J. Blige, My Life, playing. If anybody knows Mary J. Blige and My Life album, she was actually depressed in the most darkest days of her life when she recorded that album. And that song was playing. That's the last thing that I remember. That song was playing. And I remember listening to that song and I remember the Holy Spirit telling me, turn that song. And I was just like, no, I was talking to myself in the car. I'm like, no, I'm not turning it. Like, I want to feel this way. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm tired. I listened to that song and I remember that song just made me think more and more of all of the things that were happening in my life. And I was just tired. I was frustrated. I was angry. I was just mad. And have you ever been there where it's just so much back to back to back things and you're like, I'm a good person. I do this. And it seems like the more that you're trying to change, the more that you're trying to be a better person is when you're getting attacked and you don't understand it. And that's what I was saying. I'm like, you know what? When I was deep in sin, when I was doing all these things, none of these things was happening to me. And I was just mad. I was angry. And I'm just going on and on and on and on and on. That's the last thing I remember, guys. After that, all I remember is the police banging on the window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out. Because they thought that the car was going to blow up. I'm waking up like, what? What? I hit a pole. Okay, I had blacked out. I hit a pole. The airbags were surrounding me. I was in a bad car accident. Car totaled. And they're telling me to get out because they're like, you only have a couple of minutes with a car like this and the way it's leaking. They said, the car's gonna blow up. And I'm like, what? I'm panicking. Like, what is going on right now? They open the door. I get out. Of course, the car didn't blow up. And I thank God for that. But the police were there. They're asking me questions. I didn't even remember. Like, I don't remember who my parents are. I don't remember my name. I still don't know how they got to my parents. My parents, they come over there, help me. And I get home and I'm just crying. I'm like, I just got overwhelmed. I'm telling my parents I got overwhelmed. I don't know what happened. I still to this day do not remember what happened to me in that accident. I don't know how it went from me listening to the radio and listening to Mary J. Blige, My Life, to me getting in a car accident and totaling my mother's car. And I just was just crying. And I'm just sitting there still trying to figure it out. But I thank God that God saved me, God protected me, and he kept me, because I could have been dead and gone that day. Like I said, the car was supposed to blow up. They said it was. And my Apple Watch contacted my father, because my father is an emergency contact. It contacted my father, gave him my location, and it showed him that I was in a car crash. I still to this day don't remember it. I just passed out, and I don't remember anything else of what happened. But anyways, I have been dealing with that since January. I've been going to therapy, and I did go to the doctor. I got an MRI. And going to the doctor, it was scary, because the doctor, the first thing that they said was I had a seizure. So I couldn't drive for a while, and that became so depressing. There were times that I was sitting in the room or sitting in my room, and I'm just like, I just want to drive. The feeling of not being able to drive when you know that you normally drive is the worst feeling on the planet. But during that time, I really got to learn how to be grateful. It humbled me. It gave me humility. It gave me gratitude. And I felt closer to God. Even now, me being able to talk about this has brought me a long way. It is April that happened in January, and I'm just now able to talk about this, because it used to be where I couldn't talk about it without crying. So share your trauma. Become transparent. Don't hold all of that in, because I'm going to be honest, this year, most days I have felt so depressed. I have felt so low, but I finally was released probably about a week ago. And it's still not easy for me, but I am going through my healing journey, and it gets hard sometimes. Sometimes I have times where I cry all day, or sometimes I cry. And that's normal. It's what makes you human. It still does sometimes feel like a Job situation where, have you ever just been in a situation where you're doing everything right and it seems like everything is going wrong? I'm here to tell you, just hold on, keep pushing, keep praying, keep being persistent, because that's what the devil wants you to do. He wants you to back down. No, you need to retrieve those blessings. Look at all that you've been through. Don't you want to get your double portion like how Job did? And yes, like I said, I have my days. And long story short, I was told that I had a very low vitamin D deficiency. And I still don't know the details of why or what happened. And I am working on relinquishing control and trying to understand everything. There are some things in life you're never going to understand. So the more you try to understand it, it takes more time to heal. I'm starting to come to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't understand this. I'm never going to understand this. Let me take my hands off of this. I'm not God. That's God. And it happened for a reason. So I don't even regret it happening to me. It is what it is. But I do think that it had to do with stress and my vitamin D deficiency. And I started reading up on vitamin D deficiencies. It does cause brain fog. So the staring spells, I do remember going through some of that while I was driving, and I think it had a lot to do with that. So as I've been taking vitamin D pills and everything, I have not been having that anymore. At the end of the day, I don't even think about it anymore or try to worry about it, because it'll just send me in a spiral of depression, and I'm too blessed to be stressed, okay? I still haven't gotten to the point of healing where I'm able to drive down that same road yet. Driving down that road brings back too many memories, so I'm not there yet. But I am praying and hoping and continuing to be hopeful that one day I will be able to drive down that road. So I don't know who this is for. Whoever has been going through the worst times this year, your days will get better, okay? Just keep going, keep waking up, and being consistent, being persistent. Keep thanking God, and just look at what you do have. and be thankful and grateful. God is going to give you your double portion. Believe it or not, me doing this is my therapy a lot of times. But I have been doing group therapy and I truly enjoy it. I just welcome anybody who is going through anything traumatic. Whether it be something like what I went through, a near-death experience, even if it's sexual assault, rape, molestation, open up, talk to somebody. And it is hard to talk about. It is hard to open up about some of these things. But I recommend, and I'm telling you, open up, talk to somebody, talk to a professional. You have to release this stuff. Because when you allow things to just keep building up within you and you keep going and just pretending that everything is great, because a lot of times, I'm telling you, especially last year, I was laughing to keep from crying because it was so many times I felt low, but I just kept going and I didn't talk to anybody because I was always like, oh, somebody's going to tell my business. And you have to release that as well. Who cares? At least you get to release it out of your soul. And that's what I've been working on, just being transparent and just releasing stuff. I don't want to hold on to this stuff because when you hold on to that stuff, it just builds up inside of you and then your emotions explode like what happened to me that day. And guys, this is the year of healing. Let's heal. I don't care if it's a family member that did you wrong. Sit down and talk with them. Forgive, forget, let it go. Life is short. Guys, let's become better people. That's my story. That's my testimony. I'm blessed to still be here. It is okay. A car is material things. And for the longest time, I even felt sad in telling my mother and talking to my mother. And I'm just thankful that no one was hurt. I wasn't hurt. I walked out with not anything. I only had chest inflammation and that went down after a couple of weeks. I could have been, where I wasn't able to walk. It could have been where I hit someone and killed somebody, or I could have been killed. I just thank God every day that I'm still here and I know I have a purpose. It could have been way worse than what it was. So I'm grateful and I'm here to tell you guys, don't be afraid to share your story. I don't know why, but it always gets darkest before the light. So hang in there because that's what I'm working on too. And I'm not alone. Like, I know I'm not alone. I know that there's people out there that are going through as well. And I know that there's people out there who are in their winning season. And I love to hear from them too because it gives me hope. Because I'm like, okay, all of that happened to you and you have this. So guys, just hang in there. Keep the faith. Stay prayed up. And everything happens for a reason. God bless. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm telling you, Job's seasons do not last forever. It's only temporary. God bless, guys. And next Wednesday, I will not be doing a Wednesday Wisdom Nugget because it will be my birthday. And I need rest and relaxation. And I want to have a good time on my birthday. So I'm choosing peace and to relax and rest and just ease my mind and sit back and just chill. So God bless everybody. And you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Share your story. Bye-bye.